YouTube, fight fans all over the world. It's your boy, the realest of the real. Yes, sir, I said it, Real Talk Boxing. And I am back at you again, and it is a privilege, an honor, and a blessing. Can Floyd compete with the elite welterweights? I've been seeing this a lot in the comment sections, this question. And if you ask me, I'm going to say yes and no. I'm going to say yes and no. And here's why. And the reason why I'm saying no along with the yes, or let's just say maybe and no, a definite no and some maybes in there. It's not because of the performance that went on last night. That's not the case. I mean, there could be a number of reasons why Floyd couldn't get Logan out of there. And a lot of people are judging his performance against Logan that's making them come to the conclusion that he can't compete against the elite welterweights. Well, here's my thoughts on that. Floyd could compete with some of the welterweights, all right? And here's some that I think that he would definitely get beat by. Terrence Crawford, most definitely, I think would beat Floyd Mayweather, should Mayweather try to stage a comeback, a real boxing comeback, which I seen on Instagram this morning. Floyd said he'll never do another exhibition again. Now, does that mean he's hanging up the gloves? You never know with Floyd. Floyd may be a little embarrassed about the performance last night. Should he be? No. He got the bag. He bagged. But if he was to announce that he was embarrassed of his performance, I wouldn't blame him. But if I was Floyd, I wouldn't be embarrassed. We got the bag, whatever. But Terrence Crawford would definitely smoke Floyd Mayweather, I do believe. I believe that Sean Porter, yes, I said Sean Porter would smoke Floyd Mayweather at this time. Sean Porter is too physical inside, too active, too rough and rugged, man. Just too big and strong for Floyd Mayweather at this time. Now, in Floyd Mayweather's prime, could he handle Sean Porter? We never saw that. But my opinion would be, in his prime, yes, he would be able to handle Sean Porter. But right now, no. Fighters that he would maybe be able to compete with, Danny Garcia, because Danny is flat-footed as all get out. Even though I think Errol Spence would beat Floyd, Floyd could compete with Errol because Errol Spence is flat-footed. But he's not as flat-footed as Danny Garcia. And plus, I got my dog in here, y'all. It's a new addition to the family, y'all. Hey, come here. Let me introduce y'all. This my boy, Jago. He's an American Bully, and I got him from Sellers American Bully out of Carolina. And he's a great breeder, by the way. If you want one of these beautiful little dogs, look at this big boy. Look at this big boy. Look at him. Jago. Quit making all that noise. Go do something with your time. And you better not piss in here either. But Errol Spence, I think would beat Floyd, but it would be very, very competitive. I mean, those are just some maybes and some definite no's. In my opinion, man, you need a bath, bro. Hey, we're going to give you a bath, homie. You smell like I do after a workout. But I'm not judging that because of his performance against Logan Paul. I'm not whatsoever. And like I said on Instagram, Floyd may not be fighting again, according to him. But he's said that before. He's definitely said that before. But you got to understand, I think the reason why Floyd couldn't get Logan out of there is because of his height and his reach. I don't think it was his size. I really don't. I think it was the height and the reach, not the physical weight of Logan. But there's a lot of people out there because of that really, putting into indication that Floyd couldn't compete with some of the elite welterweights. And I mean, I can definitely understand that. I understand it completely, and it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. We can even talk about Manny Pacquiao. Could he come back and compete against Manny Pacquiao? Yes, he could. Do I think Manny Pacquiao would beat him? I don't know, because he's been inactive for 2 years? We don't know. He's about to fight Errol Spence. Hopefully, if this fight gets made, it's supposed to. And then I can tell you whether or not I think Manny Pacquiao could beat Floyd Mayweather. But listen, Floyd Mayweather, for 44 years old, is still a physical specimen. The dude is still ripped, still in shape, still able to box. But, you know, he was in there with a 200-pound Logan, a taller, longer reach, not that long of a reach, like an inch and a half. I believe Floyd is 72 and Logan's 73 and a half. But he just couldn't range. He couldn't gauge the range. Just couldn't gauge the range. And there was a lot going on in that fight, too. Not taking up for him. I think he should have got him out of there. I think he should have stopped him. I knew he wasn't going to knock him out. Just like he wouldn't knock out any of the elite welterweights right now. Floyd just doesn't have the power. And I knew he wasn't going to knock Logan out. I just thought he was going to be able to stop the kid. But he didn't. And that's why you got a lot of people in the comments down below saying that the only way he could compete with the elite welterweights. Well, I agree with that. I definitely do. But I think that there's some that he could actually compete with. Definitely, he could compete with. But it's beating them is a different story. I said compete with. I'm not saying that he could come and beat certain welterweights. He could compete with certain welterweights and definitely lose to a handful of them. Definitely. Probably lose to all of them. Even though Danny Garcia's flat-footed, I think Danny Garcia would probably beat Floyd Mayweather. But it would be competitive because of the flat-footedness, if that's a word, of Danny Garcia. But elusive, strong, ring generalship, younger. Now, younger plays a factor also, if there's a certain skill set behind it. But for 44 years old, Floyd still looks good. But he shouldn't come back and ever try to fight an elite welterweight. You notice I left Canelo out of there. Canelo's not a welterweight anymore. He's a middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight. And Canelo would murder Floyd Mayweather should they fight again. And I'm talking about smoking, murking. Never mind my opinion, my comments. I want to know yours. Leave it down below. Let your boy Real Talk know. As always, respect all, fear none. God bless us. The next time Real Talk Boxing, we up and we out of here, baby.